And welcome to another episode of By the Railside Podcast Movie Review. My name is Zach. With me today I have Jordan.
What is he, retarded?
And we got Jeff.
I am.
Everyone is retarded.
He's
That's two movies with in a row with mental disabilities. And the third one, well, also he's not really mentally disabled.
He's retarded smart.
Yeah, he's wicked smart.
My boy's wicked smart.
That's the movie that's from?
Yeah, that is the movie that's from. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, all that fun shit, as well as join us at twitch.tv/bytherailside, where we stream every Saturday, Tuesdays and Fridays, and probably more throughout the summer because my girlfriend will not be living here, so I don't have to spend time with her. This week, we reviewed one I was actually looking forward to the most, probably out of all of these, Rain Man, starring Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. And to tell us about the movie is Jordan with his review.
So I think Zach relates to this movie a lot. That's why he's so excited for it.
Yeah, I got a retarded brother.
No, it's the older brother that's retarded.
He's younger.
No, he's not. We'll discuss how much you're wrong after I read this. From J. Welch, 5742. Thank you very much. Stop stalking me. When car dealer Charlie Babbitt learns that his estranged father has died, he returns home to Cincinnati, where he discovers that he has an autistic older brother named Raymond, and that his father's $3 million fortune is left to the mental institution in which Raymond lives. Motivated by his father's money, Charlie checks Raymond out of the facility in order to return him to Los Angeles. The brothers' cross-country trip ends up changing both their lives.
See, I can't be the older retarded brother because I can't count like he can. Unless I got low-functioning autism.
Yeah, you got like extremely low-functioning autism. You play League of Legends willingly.
So yeah, great movie. I'm gonna start this week. Because fuck you both.
Fuck you. This is the first.
Yeah,
welcome
you.
to the first podcast he started. Yay!
Yeah, because I pass it on. I'm the dealer, and you guys are the card counters.
Well, joke's on you. I don't know how to count.
Charlie Babbitt made a joke. Fantastic movie. Unreal movie. I went into it just knowing that it had won an Academy Award, I think, for Best Motion Picture. But I went into it just knowing the odd little quips here and there and the praise that Dustin Hoffman got for his portrayal of Raymond throughout this, who's an autistic savant. It was shot really well throughout the whole thing. It was his portrayal of a person with autism felt very legit and not overdone like you see in some other movies. Like, to quote Tropic Thunder, he didn't go full retard.
Yeah.
Which is something you never do. And Tom Cruise, even though one of the things I did that sort of bugged me about it, which is something that happens throughout a lot of movies because they got to cram so much in order to develop it, is he went from not knowing a brother to basically loving and caring for his brother and actually like fully on missing him in a week span, which it definitely can happen. But when you, in the movies, they always try to jam that thing. It's like when the couple who is not really a couple, they spend a weekend together and then all of a sudden they're getting married. It's like that rush to things. But knowing when you find out later on in the movie that he was actually around when he was a kid, he was this Rain Man, title of the film, but that's what Tom Cruise, when he was a child, called him, and before he got sent away to live in the mental institution. Looks like he did win a whole shit ton of Oscars for Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, Best Actor in a Leading Role for Hoffman. It was just purely fantastic. His random spasms that he had for people touching him, people moving his things, people going out of the routine, and the fact that he had to stay in the routine, and even Tom Cruise being there throughout the whole thing and somewhat being patient and understanding, but also having those moments that you're just like, holy fuck, just like, what's wrong with you? Why do we have to watch People's Court at 4 o'clock every single day? Like, come on.
It's my fucking show, man.
So yeah, it was really really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I want to point out that you called me Charlie, aka the younger non-autistic brother. So
Yeah. Well,
Point
I
me.
think he's actually autistic compared to Dustin.
Tom Cruise is the autistic one?
Yeah, I think so.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, Charlie Babbitt be slaying bitches. You see his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Hot as fuck. He lost her, got her back immediately. He's like, yo, just don't say it's over.
Yeah, but see how many phone numbers he can remember? Like, granted, not as many as
That was the fucking 80s, man. You had to remember phone numbers. We used to be able to do that. And then we got contact lists and we just gave up.
Yeah. I remember my phone number.
Plus, if he was autistic, he wouldn't have trouble running the numbers for his own business. Boom,
Yeah.
gotcha. Right.
Yeah, that was a failing business.
I really, really enjoyed the movie. I thought Dustin Hoffman's portrayal was phenomenal. There was a couple moments where he was like smiling and showing emotions, which I didn't think fit. But I don't know that much about autism and people with autism, so I can't speak on that. It just seemed kind of out of place, whereas before he didn't show any emotion other than "Don't touch me."
Yeah. That is my personal square.
Yeah. But I thought they might have put it in just to have that emotional connection reciprocated on Charlie's end as well.
Yeah.
Because other than that, like at the end when he walked away, he just like gets on the train and walks to his seat right away, and Charlie's like, "I want to say goodbye. Like this is emotional for me. I'm a 22 seat. Gotta go. Can't."
I'll see you in 14 days, 336 hours.
Yeah.
However many minutes, Jesus.
It just seemed like it was kind of forced in there just to kind of put emotion in the character, and it didn't quite fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't pull me out of the movie all the way. It's just for a second I was like, that is odd. Other than that, I didn't really have any issues with the movie. I had issues with characters in the movie. The second doctor that was interviewing Raymond and Charlie was a piece of shit. I don't think he actually had a medical license. Like even the character, the actor was like, "No, this guy, he cheated or went to like an online university." Actually, it wouldn't be online; it would be Morse code.
Yeah,
sitting there beeping for 8 hours a night.
ITT Morris.
Yeah. He was interrupting constantly and like super antagonistic, but he came off as like he wanted to seem like he was being calm.
Yeah.
But he kept interrupting. I did write a note about this, but I was very angry. This doctor's fucking infuriating. He's antagonistic as hell, talks over everyone, and acts confused when they get upset. Also seemed to enjoy confusing the autistic guy by asking the same question over and over again. Maybe he didn't have experience with people with autism.
Just knew how to read files, and he's just like, this is the psychiatrist for us.
Yeah, like he's like, I work in a mental hospital, so he's like, okay, we're dealing with like a psychopath. That's what he's used to. So
yeah,
it's someone who is fully coherent and can answer your questions, as opposed to someone who's inside their own world. Yeah, fuck that guy. I really don't like that doctor. But I thought the movie was great. Like I said, Dustin Hoffman nailed it. I think Tom Cruise also did a fantastic job in the movie as playing Charlie, because you really see the progression of like how he changes, like from the selfish to the selfless, pretty much. I kind of disagree on you with like the pacing, only because I think it was due to his lack of family growing up. Like as soon as he left, he was gone.
Yeah.
And then his dad died, and he's like, well, shit, all my family's dead. And then you find out you have a brother. And originally you're like, okay, I can use this guy to get $3 million or potentially $1.5 million. But then you start to like remember everything and remember that he was the actual Rain Man that used to sing to him when he was a kid. And it sort of triggered something in him like, oh shit, this is the last of my family. Like, I don't want to fuck this up.
Mm-hmm.
And then it switched in his brain when he's like, yeah, I need to try and take care of this guy or like at least be there with him. Which I liked at the end. I didn't know. I was hoping they wouldn't go the direction of just like the doctors taking him away and not letting Charlie see him. I would have liked to see Charlie like move into the old estate, like work something out with the doctor, be like, hey, if I maintain the grounds and my rose bushes,
Yeah.
can I stay in the house so I can be closer to Raymond, right?
Yeah.
But maybe they were like banking on a Raymond too.
No, I don't think so. That it definitely wasn't the year of sequels.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't think
like,
so, but yeah.
Atlantic City still thinks.
Yeah.
They still got one more city they haven't been kicked out of.
Yeah. No, I guess, yeah, with the pacing and then with him, even though he was distant from his father, it still would hurt losing a parent and then having that connection, even though that connection couldn't reciprocate what you're feeling throughout the whole. It was, at least it was there just a crutch.
And I think that's where they kind of like forced in the smiling and everything like that. Although it could have been the same for Dustin Hoffman, or like for Raymond, because he grew up with his baby brother. He probably he definitely remembers everything that happened.
Yeah.
And so like getting to see his brother again was probably it might have been emotional for him, but I mean, again, he doesn't really know how to express things like that. And I think maybe I'm going to retract everything I said about the smile and the head nod, because now that I'm talking about it, it makes a lot more sense. Well, I'm going to think about that. Jeff, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm googling something real quick, but your comment about the doctor, he was like the stupidest character. He's like, no one's accusing you of anything, but you kidnapped your brother. It's like, what? You can't say you kidnapped someone and then say no one's accusing you of anything. That's not how that goes.
Yeah.
I thought the acting in the movie was very, very good. Dustin Hoffman, or whatever his name is, did a very good job. I think now this is probably just personal bias from me. I think Tom Cruise did a much better job in like the first half when he was like the selfish prick than the second half. But it's probably just because whenever I see Tom Cruise, I just think psychopath that tries to kill people and poisons people's dogs, because that's what he does. So
yeah, I think the first half was better acting because it wasn't really acting.
Yeah, exactly. He just fell into the I'm a narcissistic prick method, or not method acting, typecast.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's called, right? So I thought the acting was very good. I didn't really like the movie. There was like the beginning of the movie was fine. I didn't like the main character. One, it's Tom Cruise, and one, he's just an asshole. So why would I care about this character? And I think that's what really bothers me is I didn't care about the quote unquote main character. So for the first like half an hour of the movie, the only main character is just this asshole that you don't care about. And then the autistic guy comes in and you're like, okay, this guy's just annoying. So then for the next like half an hour to 45 minutes, you have an asshole and a guy that's just annoying. And you're like, okay, I still don't care about any of these characters. And then they like start to grow a connection. And for me, I hate Tom Cruise. So I'm like, I still don't like this guy, but the other guy's slightly becoming more tolerable. And then it goes to the end where it's just a bunch of lovey-dovey bullshit that wouldn't, in my opinion, wouldn't happen in a week. You don't go from like lying to everyone and fucking trying to sell Lamborghinis out of a garage to, I love you, man, I'm sorry, let's be friends kind of thing. But I mean, that could just be me being an asshole too, right? So I think that was my main problem with the movie was The story wasn't anything unique. It was a typical journey, and the main character like changes over the journey, blah blah blah. That's like the most basic bitch kind of story, which can be well done. I'm not saying that just because it's been done before, it's not great. But it's a story about character development around characters that I didn't care about. So I think that's probably my main problem with it. And then there was like a bunch of really like things with me. Like autism's a huge spectrum, right? So I don't know everything about autistic people, obviously. But near the end of the movie, he freaks out because of a high pitched noise from the fire alarm. And that was after he just like nonchalantly walked into a fucking casino that there are just like high pitched noise incarnate. And he's just like, yeah, this is fine. That would be so much sensory overload for an autistic person. And he's just like, no, that's fine. Let's go play some cards and then fuck up on Wheel of Fortune. Like, I really hated that. If they didn't include the him freaking out over the fire alarm, it might have been able to slide. Like, okay, autism's a spectrum. Not all of them will have sensory overload. But since they put that in to show sensory overload, he would not be able to exist in a casino. There's no way in hell.
We as soon as that part came up, me and Jordan, I said to him, I was like, "How much you want to bet Jeff brings this part up?" And and we actually thought of Jordan thought of a reason why he didn't freak out in the casino, or a possibility why he didn't freak out in the casino, and he did at the fire alarm.
Where's that?
Oh, you're transferring to me now? I thought
Yeah.
you were just going to explain it. Okay. Because in the casino, he could sort of, because it didn't really show how much time they spent there before. For argument's sake, we'll just say like they walked in and the scene is exactly what they did in the casino. They just like walked up to the table. But he could see everything, so he could know what was making what sound when. Because like back then, it wasn't as bad as it is today in a casino, because now we have electronics and LEDs and OLEDs, and we can fuck your shit up with light. Back then, it was like literally bells and whistles. So it might have been easier for him to process. Like he could just look at the machines and understand. And I think that's why he sort of drifted off from the table, because he heard the clacking of the wheel, and he wanted to try and figure out where it was coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie was only in the 80s. They definitely had electronics and lights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but like not compared to the stuff that we have today, it wasn't as, I wouldn't say it was as intrusive.
Yeah. And whereas the fire alarm just sort of, it just went on out of nowhere. So whereas you can, when you're going up to the casino, like you could hear the bells and whistles going up to the casino. So you're sort of not as in your face as a fire alarm going off in the apartment.
Yeah, it definitely could be, but I am willing to bet if you take 100 autistic people to a casino, like 90% of them will just freak out. But I mean, it could be wrong, right?
Yeah, and also, where are we gonna find a group of autistic people that large? I don't have a bus.
Well, there's 3 of us.
I said artistic.
Oh.
I'm just a regular idiot.
The like, I guess second quarter of the movie, like the beginnings when he finds out his father dies and all that. The girlfriend character is a fucking idiot too. She's like borderline emotionally abused, and she just keeps coming back. Like, I know that happens in real life, but goddamn, people just grow a spine and walk away.
That was
and then even after she grew a spine and walk away, she just like somehow knows he's in a fucking casino and just like shows up at his door and like, hey, I love you. It's like, why? What?
He's got that good dick.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise. You don't say no to Tom Cruise. He'll find out where you live and poison your dog.
He's 5'10".
Yeah,
if you don't have a dog, he'll buy you a dog and then cut off your foot.
Ooh, I'll take a dog for a foot.
Poison the foot.
What happened
and
to
then
your
feed
foot?
it to your dog.
I suddenly got diabetes. Tom Cruise in the background. That's goddamn right. Holding your dog and a piece of chocolate. Ooh.
The second quarter of the movie, after when they first take off and whatnot, I know a lot of that was like to show Tom Cruise's frustration and whatnot with the guy, but so little happened in that 40 minutes, I was bored out of my mind. Like the guy's like, I can't go on airplanes because people die on airplanes. And yet he also knows traffic accident statistics and many more people die in traffic accidents. He's just like, but as long as we avoid the highway, we'll be okay. But that's after he gets on the highway and then he freaks out because he sees an accident and whatnot. And just like all like so much of that, I know it was just to like really cement that character, but holy fuck, that was a slow 40 minutes for me. How'd you guys find that section?
Um, I it definitely was slower, but I liked it because it sort of builds more understanding because before you just see Raymond in the I don't want to call it an asylum. What do they call those things?
Institution.
Institute. Yeah, I guess so.
Not who's.
You just sort of see him in there, and then have him like if his stuff gets moved and stuff like that. So it's more like a learning experience for Tom Cruise's character to try and get used to these um, uh, outbursts and uh, yeah, just a better understanding of his brother and what's going on with his condition. So there was that, and just he realistically he didn't change character throughout that whole thing. Like you could see him even when he's like he gets his cars in right in the beginning, um, and then he goes and he's trying to sell his cars, and then he's impatient throughout that whole thing, even with people that don't have autism. So probably in his mind, he just thinks everyone's just autistic. I'll just be impatient because he was super impatient with his girlfriend. Was in the car, like, "Oh, let's talk." Okay, well, you want to talk? We'll talk. Oh, now you don't want to talk, and he's just going on. And then Lenny, the guy who's trying to sell the cars for him, just going on about him. So I like that the way his character was consistent throughout that, and even getting frustrated um, with Raymond was just amazing. And I think so. I think that section was just sort of needed to get in there for the character development and the better understanding, and I guess to attempt to make you feel a connection with Raymond. But it was a bit slower.
Yeah, I also think it didn't help for Jeff um, that he didn't like the characters. So you're definitely gonna find it slow at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't really find it slow. Um, it was more showing like the learning curve that Tom Cruise had to get. Like he definitely wasn't expecting this. He was expecting to get his brother on a plane, be in Los Angeles in a couple hours, and go to a baseball game the next day, and then get $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Like it was all gonna work out, and so this was his plan absolutely falling to shit again. Like when he stole his dad's car, and it showed. It did genuinely show how much he changed. He was definitely impatient. Um, he didn't so much learn to like slow down with anyone but his brother.
Yeah.
I find, and a little bit his girlfriend. That's because need the pussy.
Who fucks with the door open with an autistic kid just
I don't know. That's just well, I guess if you don't know anything about autism, you don't really expect someone to just like walk into your room. He also thought he was
Well,
in
I
bed
mean,
because his lights out at 11.
Yeah.
yeah, but still, like you've just met this guy, your girlfriend's there, you still just like, even if it wasn't your brother, even if it is your brother, you just fuck with the door open with some stranger in the other room, like.
Hell yeah. Then you get your autistic brother coming in doing villager noises from Minecraft.
I'll do that for hours.
Just sits on the bed. That was amazing. Starts watching TV. All right. And then they all finish, and he just, what was that? Like it's your brother.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the change. The way he cares for his brother. I guess it might be better to look at it as prevents a tantrum. Just based on his character. But like in the first hotel, Rain Man just like starts fucking rearranging the room, not a care in the world, and Tom is just like, I need quiet. I'm on the phone, please.
Yeah.
And then the second hotel, he like helped them rearrange it. The third hotel, which was the one in Vegas, at least the one that I'm remembering, he actually had them pre-prepare a bed special for him. So by that point, like I know he was using him, and it might have been using it to butter him up, but it still showed like he made an effort for it, the brother.
Yeah.
Especially with all the fucking snacks. I don't know if that was like he was asking for those or his character was just like, this is food, and just grabbed a bunch of unhealthy stuff for him. I know he definitely liked orange pop for dinner. I believe that was his
And lunch.
nighttime drink.
Yeah.
And lunch?
Yeah.
Yes, and
Anything,
lunch.
yeah.
Fish fingers and orange soda and lime.
8 fish fingers.
That was probably. There's only 4. There's supposed to be 8. We always have 8 fish fingers. Just cuts them in half, and he is perfectly content.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yep,
I can
that
count 8
checks
there.
out."
Those numbers, like I can understand that.
Yeah, and lime jello. What a fucking combination! Oh my
Fish,
god,
lime, and orange.
the food in institutes just seems so bad.
Maybe that's why like not a lot of people got out of it because
They're malnutrition.
no, they were just going insane for the
Food
shit
drove
food.
them crazy.
How can you feed me sauerkraut and pudding on the same day?
One of these things just doesn't belong.
Fruit Loops and veal sausage? What the fuck? What did that guy do to get in here? Oh, he used to work here. He was a janitor. Now he licks the wall. I know what's in the paint. Consistency.
You can count the paint speckles.
1748.
246.
Yeah, baby.
Holy shit. Just that quick little boop, 246. That was straight impressive. And when he just having that savantness come through when he's dealing with the waitress, and he's just like, "Yep, here's your phone number. How'd you know my phone number? I read the phone book." Just
He gave me the phone book.
I got up to the G's.
What was with the? He was saying 80 something before 80 something toothpicks before he said 246. What was that all about?
I think maybe in the packages in that box. I don't know. It definitely was. I don't exactly know. I think it must have been packages in the box.
86
There was
now?
87 packages of toothpicks in the box.
Yeah, because she got the box of toothpicks out of like an actual like case of toothpicks, and I think that's what he counted out. And then he's just like, "No, on the floor, how many toothpicks?" Then he's like, "Well, there's 250, 246." Like, well, she said there's 250 in the box, so then she's just like, "Yeah, there's 4 left in the box." And he just goes, "What the fuck?" And he doesn't clue in. That's crazy. Tom Cruise's character didn't clue in to how fucking smart Raymond was until he takes him to the actual doctor, not a psychologist. And the guy's just like, "I heard about freaks like you. Hey, calculate this for me."
Even like that, even after that, he's like, man, he's brilliant. And then they did the whole like he can't make change thing, which is weird. It wasn't which is another incorrect thing. They weren't asking him like how many quarters you had. An autistic person that can do like calculus in their head will be able to tell you that 100 minus 50 is 50. Like if they asked him like, okay, then how many quarters, or can you count out how many nickels or whatever? That's more abstract, and they wouldn't be able to do that. But asking him, like fucking, if you spend 50 cents, how much do you have left from $1? The guy would be able to do that. Come on.
So I've looked it up, and I can find the quote, but I can never find an answer because it just says he says 82, 82, 82. Charlie says 82 what? Raymond says toothpicks. Charlie says there's a lot more than 82 toothpicks, Ray. 246 total, and then you know the rest. But
Wait, how many times did you say 82?
3 times.
Okay, 82 times 3 is 246. He probably groups. That's how autistic people do things. They group.
I wonder how you did those numbers so fast.
It's in the
I
script.
don't know, but I'm just saying that makes more sense.
He's
82
calling him
times 3.
autistic.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. Pattern recognition.
you love math. He loves math. You
I
scream
can
when
count.
touched.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. He screams when touched, but lets a borderline stranger just kiss him in a fucking thing. There's no way in hell.
That wasn't. He saw her naked, bro.
Yeah.
They're basically brother and sister.
He saw his brother naked too, and when he tried to hug him after dancing, he freaked out. So
Yeah, that's gay.
Yeah. He may be autistic, but he's not stupid. That was a joke. I need to specify this.
That I was so ready for that date to actually happen between him and a hooker. I thought that was gonna be great, and the fact that Charlie's just like, "Oh, okay, like sorry, honey, like he doesn't have any money." He's like, "No, we're just talking." And he's like, "Yeah, we're getting to know each other." Charlie's just like, "All right, hooker, you have fun with this. I know where this is going."
Yeah, I'll be over here watching.
But then didn't pay attention when the guy was like, "So what are you doing here? Counting cards. We're just counting cards. Counting cards." I'm like, "All right, Raymond, shush, relax."
You think you would have like told Ray just like before, like, "Hey, Raymond, okay, so what we're doing is counting cards. But if anyone but me asks you what we're doing, you say playing cards. That's it." And he'd be like, "Okay, I understand that.
I got that reference.
These are instructions. I love that structure. It's my thing."
yeah, but he's gotta go to bed. It's almost 11.
I also noticed something. As they were like going into all the hotels, at one point, Charlie commented on it. Ray was doing his "Who's on first, what's on second" bit
Yeah.
that he does when he gets anxious. But I think the Vegas hotel, I didn't hear him doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was just like maybe he was getting more comfortable with Charlie, or he just has bougie tastes.
Yeah.
It's like I'm anxious unless I'm in a penthouse.
Aren't we all though? No, not really. I think I get super, like even when I'm at work, and I'm like driving around those high end dildos.
Yeah.
Like I feel uncomfortable in those dildos.
Really?
Yeah, it makes me feel super like out of place, like I do not belong. It just could be 100% just because it's a straight off tangent, but just because I grew up poor and I was like, you know what, like I shouldn't belong in like a fancy hotel room. Like I deserve like the Super 8 or something like that. And then being in anything, yeah, like one of the
Give me a
guys,
box in the alley.
one of the guy or the kids at work, his personal car was like a BMW, and like being in a BMW makes me uncomfortable.
I have Toyota.
Yeah,
Maybe that's too good.
yeah. My car's a Kia, which
So
is like it's pretty general.
Yeah.
Not like Toyota's at least like it's a well known name and not well known name, but like they last long. They're well built and everything like that. Kias are just like they're just Kia. They're right in the middle. They don't really break down. Well, sometimes they do break down, but it's nothing like Ford's just dead.
Yeah.
Or Chevs are just check engine light. But yeah, being in fancy things just makes me uncomfortable.
That's why I downgraded. I didn't go for the 4-wheel drive. I limited myself to 2. That's 4 wheels is too many. I want to say when I was at my old dildo repair job, I was driving a very high end dildo, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I definitely felt out of place. Felt like I was driving like a fucking boat or an RV,
Yeah.
but it definitely felt weird. Jeff, have you ever driven high end dildos?
No, but I know that I would be extremely anxious because I feel like super responsible for everything that I do, and if I like got a single scratch on it, I'd feel awful. So it's not so much the fact that I don't think I belong, which I don't belong because I don't care, but It's just I feel way too responsible, and it just gives me super anxiety.
You end up driving like 100 under the speed limit.
I'd much rather just drive a shitty old van, because then if you roll it like I did, then who cares? It was already on its way out.
Or you just have your autistic brother walk in front of you while you're driving off the freeway.
Yeah.
Or just grab the steering wheel and turn it.
Yeah.
But only do it once the entire trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because Charlie told him he'd let him drive. So he's like, okay, fuck it.
Because he listened to Charlie so much more before that.
He loves driving. He talked about it all the time. That was the first thing he talked about.
driver.
Yeah, very good driver. Dad used to let him drive around slowly in the parking lot or in the driveway.
Oh man, I really can't get over Dustin Hoffman's portrayal. Like movies aside, like his portrayal of an autistic person, especially given the time that the movie came out, because there has been so much in the ways of advancement towards mental health and mental disabilities that back then, like having them in that group home. There we go. That's what I like. Group home. I don't.
Yeah.
Not. It's still an institute,
It's
but
a less offensive term.
yeah. Because that's just what happened. It was like they evolved from the old Spartan way where you just huck them off a cliff. Oh, they're deformed. Blop. And then you're just like, you know what? Speds together make friends. And then you just group them in a home. And whereas now you have like, it's still not the best, but there's more of an understanding. And realistically, that spectrum is a little too big for my liking, but it's at least big enough where you have like, because realistically everyone can fit on that goddamn thing.
Yeah, actually, I read the other day that certain species of cats are going to be listed under the spectrum. I gotta stop looking at you when I'm doing this. You're just like, really? The look on your face.
But yeah, and so going off that day and age, I would have loved to see his research process in order to develop the character of Raymond.
Oh, that's crazy! Whoa, what's here in my hand? I happen to have that information for you.
Whoa.
I do want to point out later on in this article, it definitely says that this movie did a lot of harm for the autistic community before it started doing good. So there in the beginning, there was a lot more, I guess harm. I don't want to say harm, but it was a lot of misinformation because people automatically equated autism with Rain Man.
Yeah.
So if you didn't act exactly like Rain Man, you're not autistic, you're faking it. And so people would actually get mad, not realizing that there's lots of different flavors of autism.
Yeah.
But he was introduced to a West Virginia man who lives with his mother, but does like weekly checkups with doctors at an institution that's close by. His name's Joseph Sullivan, 28-year-old Huntington man. Hoffman was introduced to him at the UCLA Behavioral Sciences Media Lab. First, he watched 2 documentaries that described Sullivan's life, along with 16 hours of outtakes from one of them. The 1986 documentary, Portrait of an Autistic Young Man. That's where I met Joe, in a sense. That's what he said. That was my kickoff. He buried himself for months with that for the first 2 months. And then Hoffman said last weekend at a showing of Rain Man to benefit the Autism Services Center. Where is it? We chased him in the film. Okay, so I guess he didn't actually meet Joseph until after the movie came out. He'd only had the 2 documentaries and the 16 hours of footage. So that he based.
Didn't the guy who wrote it kidnap that Sullivan guy? Let's see. There was the guy who, I think the guy who wrote this movie. He kidnapped a autistic guy to stop him from being sent back to an institution. Let me see if I can find that again.
Oh, okay, so he wasn't. When I hear kidnap, I'm like, oh god, he's gonna sell
No, it was the same kidnapping as this guy. Well, I guess this guy was trying to sell him. But it was just like to prevent him from going into the back into the institution or whatever.
So
Yeah,
apparently,
Barrymore, after meeting Kim Peek. No, Kim Peek was the like super savant.
him. Yeah, Kim Peek was the savant. Bill Sachter was a good friend of
Yeah.
Morrow who was the subject of Bill, an earlier film Morrow.
Bill Sachter was the one who got kidnapped.
so in June 1989, at least 15 major airlines showed edited versions of Rain Man that omitted a scene involving Raymond's refusal to fly because it mentioned so many crashes of different airplanes. That they were just like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna take it out. The writer and the director was just like, no, this is like so key to his character. Like you can't just take out that little bit because it definitely shows like his memory for certain things and like and the development. But yeah, that's just hilarious that they they're just like, yeah, today, like, why even show the fucking movie at that point? If you're just like, if you have to edit out a chunk of it, like,
Yeah.
why even bother showing the movie? Just go with something else.
You'd have to edit a good chunk too, because they like talk about flying quite a bit in the movie. Like even after they didn't fly, he has to explain why he's not flying.
Yeah.
But no, you can't say that.
Apparently, it's all right too. Even Qantas actually had like no issues, like no crashes at that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
How about
They probably had it since, but
just gone down the shitter since the movie.
Only airline whose planes have never crashed. And apparently the film is credited with introducing Qantas safety record to U.S. consumers.
Nice.
Probably
How much did Qantas pay?
By the way, we've never crashed on land. What? We never crashed.
Doesn't count in the water, bitch.
It's not crash, it's submersion. Testing out our submarine planes.
So far, none of the planes have been waterproof.
They all sank just like a submarine.
Just got to work on that other part where they come back up.
Yeah.
We're halfway there, though. We're doing good. And only, 1,462 lives lost.
Not bad.
For science, that is nothing. I mean, think of Hiroshima.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
What are the bombs called? Little Big Boy Man?
Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Nagasaki and Little Boy, wasn't it? Or Little Man?
No, the cities that were blown up were Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Also the name of Swordfish.
Yeah, but didn't they name the bombs because they're demented?
I have no idea.
In the one of the
Little Boy and the Fat Man.
Little Boy and the
Yeah,
Fat
just
Yeah.
one of the scenes in the movie that got me, just because it's a childhood thing. I will always laugh at these types of jokes. But it's when Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise are in the phone booth together, because he brings him in the phone booth so he wouldn't run away like he did in the little town. And then Dustin Hoffman's character farts in the phone booth. Now, that wasn't scripted. Dustin Hoffman, he just decided, he like, yeah, I'm a fart. And then Tom Cruise is just all improvised that scene, just like, oh my god, did you just fart? Like, how can you stand that?
Well, he's just in genuine interaction. He's like, fuck it, I'm just going to stay in character and see when he breaks. I just love how he does it. Just stops for a second. Uh-oh. Fart.
play a game with chicken, and if Cruz doesn't give up, just shit your pants. I will make you leave this before I do.
I do it. Jeff, do you have access to Amazon Prime? I'm going way off topic here.
No, I don't.
God damn it. Never mind that. If you get a chance, legally purchase a thing called Documental. We'll talk about it after the podcast. What else? Don't you
Did
think
you
there would
know-
be an issue with a train? Like, had he never read about any train accidents at that point?
he was cured after being with Tom Cruise for a week.
Oh, he did make a joke.
He's
Yeah.
allowed to make jokes now. He recognizes jokes. He doesn't do his little like who's on first base. It's funny now, and he's cured. He's not autistic anymore. Trains are fine.
Cause like,
Speaking of trains,
yeah, it's our podcast. That's what I was saying. Train horns are fucking loud. So and he wasn't like it didn't seem like he was that far from the main train. You got to put him on the caboose. You hear just a little.
Yeah.
Instead of 150 decibels blasting out your lobes, making those sex noises again. I think they should have made that more realistic. There was no slapping.
no,
Tom Cruise has tiny penis.
yeah, confirmed.
Confirmed. I don't even have a
Or
dog.
it's so large that there is no slapping because he can't reach that far, or else it'll kill her.
Yeah, but you got to think if it's that large, you got to have a fucking set of gorilla nuts on him.
Yeah.
That's got to be hitting her.
I mean, to be fair, as much as I hate Tom Cruise, he does have a pair of nuts on him. He was filming like Mission Impossible or something, jumped from one rooftop to another rooftop, broke his ankle, and finished the scene.
Nice.
Yeah, he does most of his stunts. I think he learned how to fly a helicopter for, I think the last one, whatever one that Henry Cavill was in.
Ghost Recon.
Yeah, and like the helicopter stunts, like when he flipped the helicopter, I think that was actually him doing it.
Most likely, I know I think it was like the fourth one. He runs and like jumps on a plane and he's trying to get his buddy to hack into it to open the door. And the plane takes off before he can get inside. And he's legitimately holding on to the side of a plane as it's taking off. Like that wasn't a stunt double. It wasn't a green screen. And that's when I realized that Tom Cruise is genuinely insane.
Yeah, we're fucking psycho.
He tried to electrocute Oprah with his eyes.
Yeah.
Luckily, her black magic powers saved her.
You can't say that. It's African American magic powers.
No, there's different colors of magic, and she has.
You can't say that.
Everyone has a random chance, Jeff. Black magic is rare.
Did you know Tom Cruise also thinks psychiatry should be outlawed and there's no such thing as depression?
Sorry, what was the first part of that?
Tom Cruise thinks psychiatry should be outlawed and that taking psychoactives or antidepressants should be outlawed too.
Well, yeah, just be happy.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Cured.
It fixed me.
$200.
No.
Solid advice.
You're not a doctor. Those got removed.
Did you know
No?
that Kmart sucks?
Yeah. That was a joke made by Rayman.
I made a joke. Ray made a joke. Oh man.
Does that happen?
Autistic people making jokes? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no,
I've seen
obviously like,
comedians.
autistic people can make jokes. I'm saying that specific character. Would he make a joke? It doesn't seem to fit.
I
Yeah,
think he
no,
would.
it didn't. Hell no. Hell no. That character doesn't understand humor.
He did when he had the table, the syrup.
Yeah, it was near the end.
That wasn't like a full on joke though. I think that was just like, hey, I got it, and then he just like he didn't interpret it as a joke.
He just
I don't know.
understood, like, because he'd been explained what a joke was.
Yeah.
Because that's like his brother specifically rented a movie of his like coping mechanism. He's like, here, I'm going to show you why it's not a coping mechanism. It's a joke, and you're wrong. Sit down, shut up, eat a cheese ball with a fucking toothpick, and watch.
No, wasn't that the Rain Man's movie? Because he referred to it as Rain Man's movie at the end of the movie.
Oh, maybe.
When he was talking about the things that were in his backpack. But yeah, the more the movie went on, the less autistic the autistic guy came across as. And I think that was supposed to be the whole love can cure anything bullshit.
They were just selling more. They were just doing Scientology.
Yeah.
Just stop being autistic. And Dustin Hoffman's like,
Forehead.
you cured me. Is that a loud noise? Huh? I don't care.
Trains and jokes are my favorite.
Those definitely aren't electrocution marks. Don't lift up my shirt.
I like when Tom Cruise, when Charlie was dragging him along like he was on a leash with his backpack, just moving him through the crowds like, come on, keep up.
He would still trail off. He's still just like, all right, there's the ceiling. How many tiles are up there? I'm gonna count it real quick. Just give me a second. Stop pulling me.
When he's on the like the floor escalator and he just sort of like turns around and walks back and he's like Raymond, come on, what are you doing? And then he just stops moving and then catches up to Tom Cruise. He's just,
Sorry.
turn around. Oh man.
One of my favorite quotes listed here on imdb.com/title/TT095953. Charlie, what you have to understand is 4 days ago he was only my brother in name, and this morning we had pancakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had waffles. What do you want?
Oh. Yeah.
All right, guys. The ultimate question: waffles or pancakes?
Waffles. And I will explain myself if you guys want me to.
Hold on, I want Zach's answer first.
Yeah, I want pancakes.
You're dumb
I
and wrong.
generally prefer waffles too.
Here's why you're dumb and wrong and stupid for liking pancakes. A waffle is basically just an improved pancake. Yours has got no flappy. It's no structure. It's too much fluff. So you compact it down and you give it a nice crispy outside that lightly absorbs the syrup and doesn't become a soggy mess in 6 minutes. They're just genuinely better. You can definitely get a melt if you want to put chocolate chips in there. They're definitely going to melt because it's almost guaranteed to be at least right up against the iron. So most of the chocolate is going to melt, if not all of it. And you're wrong.
Yeah, I'll agree. Easier toppings distribution because of the pockets. Better texture diversification. And the one thing pancakes does have on waffles, though, is you don't need any special equipment to make pancake. You just fucking throw pancake batter on a hot piece of rock and be like, pancake!
Oh, yeah. Just about to say that. That's the only drawback. You have to have like a fucking waffle iron. Luckily, I'm an adult and I have an Avengers team play. Defend yourself or attack waffles at your own peril. I am hiding several weapons.
Right. The pockets are nice, but it's only it's only good for toppings. Whereas a pancake, you can have both toppings, but you can also have shit inside more. So you can have like more fruit inside of a pancake than you could a waffle, because the waffle you're squishing all your little where you would have them. Chocolate chips, 100%, but there's blueberries, raspberries. You put bananas in pancakes. Hell, you can even have oats if you want to.
Ew.
Yeah, it's shit. There's so much you can do with pancakes. And then the French did something crazy and then made a crepe, which is basically a pancake, just thinner, and you can roll shit in.
Oh, don't act like it was some revolution. Jacques probably just fucked up the batter. I put too much water. Tabernacle.
Oh, spread it.
Pierre. And Pierre's just like, just good.
Have you never had blueberry or strawberry waffles? You could definitely put
Yeah, here's my counterpoint to that. First, compare it. Try and put a pancake in your pocket versus a waffle. What's more comfortable? You got the sturdiness
Pancake.
of the waffle.
Pancakes
You're gonna lose the entire integrity of the pancake. It's not gonna be a pancake anymore. It's gonna be shit. Waffle sandwiches.
You make pancake sandwiches.
No, it's not as good. They're floppy. There's no rigidity.
It's a griddle. They have them at McDonald's.
Toasted sandwiches.
McGriddles.
Have you ever thought about a breakfast grilled cheese with like waffles and marshmallows?
No.
Is the grocery store open?
No. Stop getting high during
I was
these
just
podcasts.
thinking. No, seriously, think about it. Waffles can do so much more. You want you talk about putting stuff in your pancakes.
Yeah.
You can still do that. Granted, there's not a whole lot of room, but you would just squish it down and cook it in with the waffle. Or you make your whole waffle and split it in half and spread that shit and then put the other half on top.
Kinds of waffles have like tear lines, so you can more comfortably put them in your pocket.
Yes. I can make 4 pocket waffles for me and my 3 friends. It's Jeff with 3 pockets.
Have you guys ever seen those Japanese pancakes that are like taller than they are wide?
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually, did you know you can make those in a rice cooker? Yeah, there's recipes online. I've looked them up a couple times. I was thinking about doing it, but I don't want to use the small one, and the only other option I have is way too big. It's like a 9. It would be like a 9-inch pancake. We got way off track, although it is still related to the movie.
Everyone likes. Well, yeah. Guess that just means I am the autistic one.
Yeah, because you like
pancakes.
pancake. Do you freak out if the syrup's not already on the table?
Well, I freak out if I can't find it. That's for sure.
Yeah. I dread looking into the fridge.
All right, we gotta get some ratings in.
Ravings.
Rating. Words. Something Rayman wouldn't do.
You're supposed to give the number as like.
Rayman Rave Man.
He would definitely go to a silent rave where everyone has to wear their own headphones, and he would be like rocking out the classical music.
Yeah, his dance moves were fantastic.
And they're all rabbits.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Oh my god, that would be very, very cool. But could you imagine Rayman on ecstasy?
For all legal purposes, these are jokes. We're not actually going to get mentally handicapped people ripped on drugs.
I will, however, extend my hand to Dustin Hoffman. You want to do some ecstasy with me? So be it. You have to bring it, though. I don't know where to get it.
Yeah.
I buy my drugs from the government.
We're not ecstasy rich.
Pretty sure you could just Google it today.
We're licking toads we found on the sidewalk, right? One time I thought I might have got a little high. The other time I threw up. I'm going to give this movie a 7. Sorry, just warping back on track. Transitions are fun. Yeah. I'm going to give the movie a 7. It thoroughly entertained me for the entire movie. I don't think there was any points where I was super distracted or like checking out my phone too much. It was other than notes. The message was good. The pacing little iffy in spots, but I could definitely see it, and I can rationalize it in my own brain. So that makes it a 7. It's not a perfect movie, but it was very, very well done.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8 on this one. Acting was great. The way it was shot was good. The script was good. The pacing was a little bit off, but other than that, it's great. I would definitely watch this movie again. No questions asked. If it was on, if I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw it, I would definitely put it on again. Wouldn't have any reservations about it. So that's an 8 from me.
I'd give this movie like a 3.5. The acting was solid. From the 2 main characters, all the other characters were a little sketchy, but the acting was solid. But I didn't care about the actor or the characters in the slightest. The story was like extremely basic, and then seemed like not rushed at the end, but just like, hey, 7 days, everything's fixed, and everyone's happy. Yeah, and if we put this on late at night at Zach's house, I'd probably just go to bed.
Yeah, it's not really a huge like late night movie.
No, I'm just saying I would leave.
Oh, you're putting this on? Yeah, I'm going back to my house then.
All right, and that gives us a
6.166666666666666.
Excellent.
Also,
6.
a single raving rabbit in the movie. I feel lied to.
There's not a
Did you guys
single
play
what?
that game?
Raving
Rabbit. Did you guys play that game? Rayman and the Raving Rabbids, or whatever it's called.
Definitely played Rayman. Not the Rabbids one though.
No, we played before the Rabs thing was even a human.
Oh, yeah, he's still a human, but it's just a mini game where you like shoot fucking toilet plungers at rabbits and shit.
I can just do that in real life. There's rabbits in my backyard.
All right, and join us next week because we'll be finishing up our Academy Award-winning movie list that we chose with Good Will Hunting, starring Robin Williams, R.I.P., and Matt Damon.
R.I.P.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. Find us all on there, as well as join us on twitch.tv/bytherailside on Saturdays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, as well as throughout the week, whenever we feel like going live. On that, enjoy the rest of your day, your week, and we'll see you next week.
Don't forget to wipe.